Are we okay? We got the fucking... We've got to do the fucking shit that we for fucking dog abuse. No! Are you listening?
Lorne Armstrong is one of the most dangerous and dumbest predators alive. Thankfully, it's a combination of both. He did something that almost all predators do not do. And it baffles the mind until you take a look at the possible reasons he did it. Now, what did he do? This moron saved his chat log. After all of that careful planning, making sure Kayla deleted hers every night, he kept it. The obvious answer is fapping it, spank bank, and that may be true. I think he went back and read it, and he was all giddy, and he was all happy, and he was like, oh my gosh, my love, let me read all of this because it's sexually satisfying, and he may have fapped it. Not multiple times, because we know, as Lorne Identity says, every time he jerks off, it's 1 year off of his life. Unfortunately, we have all heard it. He sounds the same when he's doing that handspring. He sounds the same when he's rifling around with stuff, when he's on the phone and he's throwing it around, and when he's always asking him, what exactly are you doing? He sounds the same as when he's fapping it. Keeping your chat log for a predator is usually never even a thought. These guys are the gatherers, the producers, the travelers. You have those 3 types of predators, and their main goal is to get there. Somebody told Lorne to make sure you delete your archives, so this genius, he had his prey delete her archives, but he never deleted his. My main theory, and you may disagree, and that's fine, my main theory is he was going back and making sure that he forgot nothing. That he said what he wanted to say to make sure everything was going to go smoothly, that he was going to get what he wanted. Now, I think that is true. He says it over and over again, and even when he's talking to Ramona, he forgets. He forgets what he said. Because it's as if he never said it, and I will tell you why. The way his brain works is he says something, he's not really paying attention to what he says. He's thinking about that next thing that's in line. And Lorne has an 87 brain, so he has to really concentrate. So if I were talking to you, and I was angry with you, and I wanted to talk about you dropping your panties at a party, the first thing I'm going to yell at you about if I'm Lorne is that you went to a party. Now, I'm not even thinking about my next statement. I'm thinking about my next statement. I'm not even thinking about what I'm saying. And then I'm going to yell at you for how many guys are around you, and you were probably cheating on me. Then finally, I would talk to you about dropping your panties. Because Lorne is insecure, and because Lorne has no confidence in himself, he has to say it over and over again because he's not sure if he hammered that point home. So with the decoy, he's spouting all of this grooming bullcrap. Yes, he enjoys her responses. He does. He enjoys hearing her answer his ridiculously repeated questions to the point where if you're reading it, you just want to throat punch somebody. Listening to the great Babsby read it, she's done the best reading. I apologize. Anybody else read Magnum Popeye, whoever, Bass Shaman, I apologize. But great Babsby is who I listen to. I think if she and I sat down in a room, we would be laughing at the right parts, angry at the right parts. We wouldn't be talking about his private parts, because God knows he was. Are you anxious to touch my penis? My precious little princess, go doom. See, it gets caught, it gets stuck in your head. But Lorne would go back and he'd read this chat log. Did I leave anything out? Oh, I did say that. Oh no, the bubble bath. I have to tell her how she's going to be sitting in the bubble bath. Crap, I forgot that. Or when we're sleeping, I have to make sure she knows how we're going to sleep. He had this entire thing planned out. He was ready to go all the way. He had her groomed to the point where he wanted to know what she was thinking when she wasn't speaking. He does that to Winnie. I listened to a call last night on TCAP Gaming. He was talking to Winnie. She said she was thinking about Dan. Then, of course, Lorne wouldn't drop it. So she tried to change the subject. He wouldn't let it go. Finally, she was quiet, and Lorne demanded to know what she was thinking at that moment. Are you thinking about Dan again? She's not even allowed to think, and Kayla would not have been allowed to think. Kayla would have been sitting next to him in his trailer, according to his chat log. She would have been sitting next to him in his trailer, right? And he would be looking at her the whole time. What are you thinking, princess? Princess, are you thinking about my penis? Huh? This would be in person. She would not be allowed to think. If she had a diary, do you remember when Winnie was writing a diary and Lorne was concerned that she was writing the truth about him being a bad person? Kayla would not be allowed to think for herself. And if she tried, he even had her down to the point of how she was going to sleep, what she was going to wear, what she was going to be holding. He was the sexual assault grooming king. Something else that I know would have happened, given the fact that he was going, he just studies and studies what he's done, what he says. As I told you, bipolar people, they will go back to the same point over and over because they want the reaction they're looking for. And if they don't get it, they're going to keep asking. Kayla kept saying K. That wasn't good enough. He wanted her to say yes. He tried to get her to say the words he was saying. And most of the time, almost all of the time, she wouldn't. And that drove him crazy. If she ever made a phone call to her parents, he would be sitting right next to her, looking at her, trying to make sure she wasn't telling them how they're living in, squalor, mold all over the place, Lorne yelling at her, abusing her. He would make sure she would not be able to tell anyone other than what his official story was that everything was hunky-dory. But Lorne, again, kept his chat log. These other guys did not. They know the consequences. They went to public libraries, on their friend's computer. They deleted it all. They were smart enough. This kind of goes along the same lines, but what he was looking at closely was her responses, how she was responding. He was subconsciously learning. He would not be smart enough to know to do that. He was reading it, and he was like, okay, how does she respond to this? All right, I got to change my tactic. Or how does she respond to this? Maybe I need to word it different. How can I get her to say what I want? Maybe he really thought, and God, this would be giving him some credit, that if he could get her to say what he wanted her to say, he would be off the hook somehow. She never did. He was relentless. She was talking about how she felt bad. Lorne immediately went into, are you anxious to touch my penis? Are you ready to touch my penis? Just bizarre behavior. Are you ready for me to stick it in, as everybody's talked to? He's a virgin. He doesn't know how sex is initiated. He doesn't know what happens during sex. He doesn't even know how many... he doesn't even know a woman has a clit. It's multiple clits. He's pathetic and desperate. And the fact that he kept his chat log scared me a little bit, because it showed that this meant so much to him. This meant the world to him. This was something he wanted to have on hand, and he wanted to keep it. And even if he had gotten with Kayla, he might have been reading that chat log while she was sleeping. He's disgusting, and I hate him. But those are my thoughts. I'm on my way to see my daughter. She's in the Bluegrass State Games. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.